specs are, and they're just taking it out. Even in the highest level of play, people respect ban like that. There's so when I was playing, if we ever saw like a hero spammer, we would just first round ban the hero spammer because the team immediately has to adjust like a new type of play, and most teams, unless they're like even like I would say even some professional teams don't know how to adapt to a new like type of play if they're put in that kind of position.
Yeah.
You usually practice a kind of play, whether it be like a pick off into push lineup, a team fight lineup without initiation. So like a lineup where you have to counter initiate. You have to practice those kinds of games extensively in order to be confident and take that into a tournament. But if you get a ban like that and you just throw the other team like off totally,
Yeah, definitely.
the top of the top. All right, so we have Ancient Apparition first pick. I would say that's a good hero just because it can trade hits really well. Like as soon as his, I forgot what it's called. I think it's Chilling Touch.
Touch. Yeah, I think it's Chilling Touch. The ice throw, right? The ice ball that he throws.
Yeah. I think Chilling Touch. That makes him a really strong laner.
Yeah.
So he stand on his 2 feet, and then Venomancer. Wow. So Venomancer is like very distinctly different from Doom. Venomancer is a very strong laner. Doom is like a strong laner, but after like level 4 or 5 or something like that, or with the help of another hero, Venomancer can just like trade hits with everyone. He just needs one person to soak up the damage.
Yeah, I think they're gonna probably. I think they should get like some kind of stun in the off lane and send the Ancient Apparition there instead of pause 5. Because I usually don't like an Ancient Apparition babysitting, especially if you know it's going to be a pause 4 or pause 3 Venomancer. Oh, Phantom Lancer coming out.
Wow, that's a very quick one.
Earthshaker going immediately against them.
Yes, I mean, a one position first round isn't that great unless you have that meta first pick. So Lycan in one of the previous patches was a first round pick because there's nothing in the game. You had to draft so specifically to counter him.
Like you need to pick like 2 or 3 heroes just to counter one hero.
Exactly, and that opens up the draft. Whereas Phantom Lancer, I feel like it does the opposite. It kind of closes.
I don't think PL is even in the meta right now. It's like the Spec and Faceless Void or the meta carry picks or Sven. I'm kind of worried about WSS. They did get 1 win, but I don't know. Phantom Lancer needs those item timings, and if his item timings are slowed, he needs to wait for that next item. And if that is also slow, he needs to wait for the 3rd item to come into these fights.
Yeah, exactly. So Phantom Lancer is like one of those heroes that requires farm. Up until like 30 minutes, he can't really participate in fights. Actually, I would say Phantom Lancer is a little bit different because as soon as you pick up Diffusal on him, you can participate in like 1, maybe 2 at most fights.
Yeah, like a cleanup kind of fight.
Yeah, and like a fight like that, where you have like good initiation as well. But past that, then you just start farming. It's one of the heroes where you get an item, fight, get an item, fight again, get an item, keep on fighting until you just outscale. Which is actually like a really unique hero. However, he does not function without farm. So Earthshaker shuts that hero down in almost any of fights. He's not going to be able to get those kills in fights. I don't think Phantom Lancer wants to participate in fights where he knows Earthshaker has his Echo Slam.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that Grin actually banned Underlord. I was actually thinking they could maybe send this or make this Venomancer pause 4, send the Earthshaker pause 5, and keep Underlord for the pause 3. Because as a Phantom Lancer, I don't want to be in front of Underlord. I can't last it, nor I can sustain against his first spell.
I would say yes, but I wouldn't pick the Underlord until later in the draft. Maybe like 4th pick, just because you're putting yourself in a corner with your draft.
True. You don't want to be.
It puts a lot of weight on Earthshaker to be the sole initiator, and your playstyle becomes way different than a traditional initiator, like a Legion or like a Batrider or something like that. Underlord is a type of hero where you don't initiate on heroes, you wait for them to kind of appear and then counter initiate. Venom, you said Venomancer as a 4 position. I'm not too big of a fan, just because it's like it's a 4 that just falls off completely after a point because he has no utility.
Yeah, that's true. It's like he comes in ults, then he kind of dies, and nothing much happens.
Exactly, but I mean, in certain lineups, you can make it work. Like if you play the game really, really well, and let's say it's like a 5 position, because I don't even want to put that on a 4. So 5 position, you can trade your life for an objective on the map, and he can, if you get like a really strong early game and then transition into just, oh, I'll just trade my life, that has value. So you could in that sense, but you're just like going into the mid and late game, you want to have utility. The utility of supports scale really, really well, and not having that is really bad as a support.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of went on that tangent, but we have 2 new picks. So we have Spectre for Grin and Zeus on WSS.
I'm kind of worried about the Spectre. Like, as a Spectre, I like to be at these low healths, kiting in and out. But there's an Ancient Aberration. If I'm hit with that snowball, I'm pretty much dead if I'm under 400 health. Especially with Zeus.
I actually think the Spectre is a decent pick. So Spectre matches the carry potential of Phantom. He also scales really well against Zeus and AA.
Ooh, I love this pick. As you were saying, the initiation, like a Phantom Lance, Legion Commander or a Centaur, and LC deals with the Phantom Lancer illusions, as well as I think he can remove Cold Feet, but not the ultimate from Ancient Aberration.
Yeah, so Legion has a lot of utility. He's good against every single hero on WSS right now. I would say right now, Grin has a really strong draft. What they need to round this draft off is do exactly what WSS did in the last game. We have a greedy Zeus, a greedy PL. Let's get a greedy mid laner to punish the Zeus. They could even go Huskar this game. I think that would be.
I think they banned it. Yeah, they banned Grin banned it.
No! Yeah. All right, well, hero along those lines.
Yeah. I think Grin might look for someone like with some catch as well as stun to punish it. Because I see Grin's draft and there's only Earthshaker stun and LC grab. And they might run into problem if this goes into late game against the Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, so I mean, Grin's window for success is like, right now it's kind of shaky. The reason it's shaky is they don't have a tower pusher. Legion Commander obviously can be a tower pusher, but you need dual kills to do that. He's like he's very situational.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a good start, he's not a tower pusher at all. So you need like a concrete tower pusher against WSS's draft. Or else you're just gonna play for a late game, and you don't want Zeus.
Oh,
okay. Center.
If I'm Grin, I'm picking Clinks. Does tower damage, goes into the jungle, kills Phantom Lancer with the Orchid, kills Zeus in mid lane, and he just creates ruckus around the map. And if he eats a creep, he can also burst the Centaur Warrunner in time. It gives them that punishing of the greed as well as killing people.
Actually, I like that pick a lot. I like Clinks. So for tower push, what are other options? We have
there's DK.
There's Dragon Knight. There's DP as well. That's still in the pool. I'm trying to think. What else do we have?
Yeah, I think the only scary part about picking the DK is that they do have an Ancient Aberration. And usually as a DK, you don't like to go against Ancient Aberration. But I think they can still go like a DP or a really careful DK.
I think I wouldn't pick DK just because. So the way I'm looking at this game is we want to do exactly what WSS did last game. We have 2 greedy picks on WSS. We need a hero to counter it. So I want a hero that doesn't really farm. So Clinks is actually kind of fits the bill.
Yeah, he doesn't need farm. He just needs the big fat creep. That needs
he needs that big fat creep, and then he really just farms heroes, which is what you kind of want. So I wouldn't go for like an Invoker. Invoker has decent push. What do we have here?
And I think it's a support Zeus. Well, if I'm Grin, Clinks is really good, or Void Spirit. Like I see WSS draft, they have 1 stun. It's a Centaur stun with a long animation, and Void Spirit can just walk around these heroes.
Yeah, you need a hero that functions well without lockdown. Like you said, I think Void Spirit's really good. Even Puck, I think would actually be pretty decent as well. Yeah, so they have a lot of options.
Yeah, the Dream Coil, and I believe if Puck goes to the attack build, or that physical damage build, he can go with the Deso for the buildings.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the Silence for Phantom Lancer early level, Green Manta is really good. Silence for Zeus.
Yeah. And if Phantom Lancer has illusions and Puck uses the Silence, all the illusions disappear.
Yep, exactly. So it's just like, so they have a lot of, the way Grin drafted up into this opens up a lot of windows for them. And so I really hope they have a good pick and they have good direction. what I don't want to see from Grin in this pick is a hero that farms.
Yeah.
I want to see a hero that works with the Legion Commander, works with
And
this.
goes around the enemies and killing.
Exactly.
Especially these two supports like A and Zeus are like squishy. They don't make any kind of health items to get to that point.
Exactly. Yeah, and we have Legion. So it is going to be a support Venomancer, like you said. It's going to be a free Legion. So we need to see a lot of early pushing and fighting from Grin and a mid hero to complement that.
I think they're gonna do like a pause 4 Earthshaker with a pause 5 Veno. I think Earthshaker Spectre lane can be a bit hard, especially against the Zeus Centaur. Or
yeah,
I believe it may be Ancient Apparition Centaur for that combo.
Yeah, that's what I would do personally. Because so like I said, I think Venomancer is good to.
There's the puck.
Oh, they got the puck! I called it. Genius, dude. So yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think draft wise, I would say. So actually, it's up to execution again. So we have a kind of greedy lineup on WSS. However, Necrophos is much better than Zeus. The kind of way they drafted kind of baited us into thinking Zeus is going to be the mid laner. But it appears to be more Necrophos, which is he has a little bit better scaling, but he's still kind of he relies on early like these items to scale into the game. If Puck has a good lane, if Legion Commander, Puck, and Earthshaker rotate around the map and get dual damage, early kills, it would be a Grin victory. I feel like it would be a Grin victory. WSS wants to extend the game as long as possible. So each fight that is lost, we should see Grin kind of taking the early game, but each fight that is lost on the side of Grin kind of increases the chances for WSS to win like extensively because Grin wants to end the game by a certain point.
Yeah, and Grin needs to be extremely careful when going on this Necro because when he's really low health, that's when he kind of kills. Like same as Drow, you need to be extremely careful. You need to be 100% sure you can burst him. But if you're taking chances and you dive a tower and he gets one kill, he's gonna kill you all.
Definitely. Yeah, I think Legion Commander is going to have a tough game because he needs really good focus. He needs to lock down a core hero in each fight. It's probably going to end up being Necro. However, like depending on how the fights go, he might start off a fight going on a support just to make it like a 5v4.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to be an interesting game. And I'm going to go back on what I said. I don't think Grin necessarily need to end the game by a certain time because a Puck physical damage build actually is really good scaling as well.
Yeah, and they have Spectre. Like Spectre is broken.
Exactly. They might even have better scaling than WSS. So WSS is in their draft is kind of weird in my opinion. So they don't have really that much lockdown. The lockdown really is heavy on Centaur. They need Necro. I mean, if it's going like a pub Necro build, which is Radiance, I don't think they're going to do that this game though because that would be greedy. He's probably going to go like Pipe, or something like that. It's very dependent on PL getting farm, and PL doesn't really like reach his strongest until like 30 and then scaling to 40 minutes. But we have Legion scales very well into late game. Earthshaker who scales well specifically against PL into the late game. Puck, excellent scaling if he goes physical damage build, but even if you go Dagon, he's pretty decent all parts of the game. And we have Spectre with that scaling. So I would probably say this game, draft alone, I'd put it like 60-40 Grin. So it's the exact opposite as last game. They are doing what WSS did. So we see a greedy draft, we're going to play conservative Dota to beat it. So I like it.